I received a question from a subscriber, Idaho 6Gun 5601. I'd like to see a video of you describing how to choose the ski and pole lengths. How do I choose the ski and pole lengths? I'm going to get into that in this video because there's lots of options for all the things you can do. Before I get started, please note, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have. Now, as you can see behind me, I've got a few skis here for all sorts of different purposes. These are one of my favorite, my Dynafit Freeride, the 97. Booyah! And just to show you, these are actually mine. And I thoroughly gouged the bottoms last season. Or not thoroughly, but I did gouge the bottoms because went out when there was not enough snow coverage, and yes, it wasn't bad, but it still hurt. So how do you choose the right ski length? Are you going cross-country, polar exploration, long-distance travel, free riding? Are you doing just resort skiing? There's a lot of things to do. There are two fundamental structures of skis. One are the cross-country skis or touring skis where you're going to go long distances on what's called a relatively skinny ski like these guys. Pretty skinny. Compared to my Dynafit 97s, I go totally different experience, and you can see the heights are different. Also, if you're doing skate skiing, I don't really do skate skiing because there's nothing around here. Those skis are skinny and they're meant for speed and covering a lot of distance. These guys are different. So what I'm going to do is answer the question of the different uses, and then you can choose based on what you're doing. So let's talk about the traditional downhill ski or touring ski. You'll see that I bought these guys after I gouged my Dynafits up. I bought these as they're called demo skis in Whistler. They're like on sale for $250 with bindings and everything. They're heavier than heck. It's like, ugh, I can like work out with these things. And it's because they're adjustable. They're not set to that but for $250. They fit my Mistrale boots. Now, I'm going to tell you a bunch of things to do in this video that people say, oh, that's the worst thing to do. I don't care. I go out and have fun. You go out and have fun. All these people, I have the rules. Whatever. So, these skis are adjustable. Once you get the ski binding set and you take it into a shop to have them set the DIN number, this is what you need. But these skis, when I went into the shop, what they do is they measure them, and ideally they should be between your chin and your head for the length. You can see these are a touch little bit long, but I'm not a super downhill skilled skier, so I wanted a little bit more stability. Because these skis are longer, they don't turn as well, but that's okay. I'm not doing like the Olympics. So the way to measure your skis, and this is the best done at the ski shop if you can, is it's usually between your head and your chin. It should be between 5 and 15 centimeters down. I bought these just based on, hey, I want a little bit more stability. That's it. Downhill skis are based more on the length for control rather than float. Now, if you can see these guys have virtually no camber. There is some in here, but that means how much arc they have depending on how much pressure you apply. Versus these guys, cross country, long distance, they have a lot of camber because the whole idea is you want to get the tread pattern off the ground. Now you can see these two being demo skis. They were damaged pretty well. The shop repaired them, so that's why I got them inexpensive. So there you go. Choosing this as your option for a downhill ski, inexpensive. And by the way, if the ski breaks away, they've got these nifty little brakes where they lock down and stop the ski from going off and killing people. Compare that to my Dynafits. Hopefully that doesn't fall over. You'll see that these are just about the same length. Just a touch shorter, but really, really close. Almost like to my eyebrow. That's the perfect length I found. A little bit too shorter skis, a little bit more wild for me. This gives me a little more confidence. So you can see here, the ski height. You know, in my big old bushy eyebrows, right to my forehead, that is a perfect length for me. I am 6 feet tall, or 183 centimeters tall. I don't remember, these are 177 centimeters. So, you know, 183 and then 177, so about 5 centimeters, that's just about right. And that's very simple. The reason I don't actually have a traditional alpine downhill rig because I just don't do it that much. I'd much rather have the free ride sort of style, and free ride means I'm going to go off wherever I want to go off. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I can use these skis in any resort. They don't work super great, just like those guys don't on perfectly groomed paths, because they're fat. They're much wider, and as a consequence, there's a little bit tougher challenge to edge on these things. So that is a problem. If you're doing hardcore resort sort of groomed skiing, you're going to want to get a traditional alpine ski or resort ski. It's going to be much narrower, so there's not so much width here, where when you need to carve, this ski really comes up. That's a totally different animal. But know that that's just a thing. Those fatter skis, again, that's my style. I can put skins on these with this tip, and I can go down and I'm going to Silver Mountain up in northern Idaho. Love it. These work great. The most important thing, honestly, is I just bought them versus the competitors because I like the cat logo. There you go. Now compare that to cross-country and ultra-long distance skis. These suckers are tall. I mean, I don't know how far I'm going to have to back up to show you how tall they are. They are a good, 5-7 centimeters taller than me. My Nansen skis, these are even taller. And my Rossignol backcountry skis, they're shorter. They're more like my traditional ski. Now, when you're choosing cross-country skis, you do not base it on your height. Do not do that, and don't say, oh, hey, I just need it for float, because the very first set of skis that I bought in San Diego. Yeah, here you can see where this is going. Called up the shop. They said, oh, yeah, you need a lot of floats. You're going to need the longest ski possible. That was a mistake. See this traction pattern here? Hopefully the lighting will show it. Oh, there you go. You can see the scales here. This scale pattern engages the snow. So when I put my boot on, I'm skiing and I'm sliding along, but then when I step, I can't flex it, but the ski, here we go. The ski will press down based on my weight. The traction pattern will engage. I'll be able to move forward, and life is good. Cross-country skis are based on weight. So yes, you have to be honest about your weight with your ski shop. Just tell them it's perfectly normal. If you buy too long a cross-country skis for you and you're too light for those skis, you will start trying to do the Scooby-Doo where you're going nowhere because this traction pattern won't engage. Even if you have skins, like on these guys, kicker skins here, if you buy skis that are too long, that are made for too heavy of a person, they won't engage either. So this height means nothing because these both work great. You can see the Rossignol BC90s are much wider than my Nansens. These are from Norway. These are from, I don't know where they make the BCs, but in any case, you have to choose cross-country style skis purely based on weight. Now you can see here, these are the skis that I used to cross Antarctica with, and they've taken a little bit of beating. Couldn't use them anymore because it's exposed the wood core and I couldn't get it to seal up anymore. So I just bought a new set of Nansens, and these crossed Greenland with me. Work super great. They've got skins and the kicker skin, and again, these are really tall, because I'm going far. I mean, geez, these got to be like 15 centimeters or half a foot taller than me. And the reason is I wanted efficiency, so a longer ski, even though it's heavier, allowed me to track away without exceeding the weight limit on the ski. These are right at the edge, knowing that I'm usually going to be a little bit heavier heading off into polar exploration. I'm going to eat as much as I can, but knowing near the end I lose like 30 pounds, so I have to really push on these skis to get them going. That's a tough balance, but I want better distance. Now, as far as ski poles, I always use these guys because they're the most flexible. Ski Mountaineering or Skimo. Let's see, let me set them to 120 and we'll see how that goes. The way to choose your downhill alpine skis, your poles, sorry, is you put your ski pole on the ground and you put your, yeah, see, it's not going to be long enough. Your ski pole on the ground upside down, and with your hand under the basket, your arm should be 90 degrees at your side, and that is traditionally the ski pole length you want for downhill alpine skiing. If I can get it locked in here. This is pretty fun. That's why I like doing YouTube live for real here. There we go. So you don't want to do it with the pole upwards because there's some upward angle. If you put the pole upside down knowing the basket is there, that should be 90 degrees. This is a little bit down. So for downhill skiing, that's just the right height so where you could get enough turn, knowing that the ski is probably going to punch into the snow a bit. Now, if you're doing free ride touring, like I do, with these sort of skis, that's why I bring these ski poles. I don't even own traditional ski poles for downhill skiing. I should probably just buy them. People are like, oh, these are heavier. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. These work so much better for versatility. Plus, do I want to lock up another $200 on ski poles? No. So what I do with my, and these are click lock style poles, black diamond, just trail poles like 120 US or whatever that is in euros. And when I'm going uphill, what I do is they shorten these poles quite a bit, and that way I can keep my arm. And when I'm going uphill, like skinning uphill with these guys, I don't put this way high. You use a lot of energy. You want this pole pretty short as you're going uphill. That way you can put your arm down a little bit. And also, if for some reason the pole ends up a little short, instead of gripping it here, just put your hand on top. Totally works. So this way, as I'm going uphill, I've got my arm at 90 degrees or less, even though people say 90 degrees or higher. It doesn't work. I put it lower because that way I've got some push and more stability. If I've got my poles up here like I see people, you're going to be stumbling around. It's going to go bad. A little bit lower, though not as energy efficient, is far more stable. However, when you go downhill, you lengthen these bad boys up and no problem. But consider what I use for cross country and long distance trekking. I use these poles that are way taller. See how tall these poles are? The ski, the ski, like crazy people are like, oh, that's terrible, that's stupid. There's a reason I buy these. The reason is that, see how tall this is for me? It's way too tall. When I'm doing long distance trekking, I want this ski pole as far behind me as possible to generate as much forward vector thrust as possible. And also, when you're doing cross-country skis, do not put your hand in like this. That's the rookie way. You put your hand up through here, and then you can grab the basket, and as you go along, it should be like you're holding a teacup at tea time and the queen's, or I guess it's the king now, hanging out with the king. And that way you can let go of the pole, it totally hangs, you can grab, it doesn't take any force. If you put your hand through like this, it takes constant force, but if you put your hand up through like a pro, it's very easy to hold on to. And that's why I get these ultra long ski poles for cross country, is I want to be able to push as much as I can forward. If my poles are shorter, I end up pushing upwards, which is useless. I want forward motion on long distance trekking like Minnesota woods, or not on Denali, but on long distance flats. And that way I get the most distance. So the final answer is it really depends on what you're doing. If you want the most flexibility and you only want to get one set of poles, it's hard to go long with these flick locks. They're very nice. Occasionally I do pinch my hand. That's always fun. So be aware they all have that problem. But ski mountaineering store to people, this is what they all use. It's the most versatile thing. Long distance cross country. The longer the ski pole, up to a reasonable length, like these are, how long are these? I don't even know, it's not even marked. Yeah, these are, oh, here we go, 140 centimeters, way too tall for me for any purpose other than going long. There you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Again, please leave comments below, leave questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you very much for watching.